In this lecture, you're diving into something that's become the new normal in identity security: multi-factor authentication, or MFA. It might seem familiar by now. Your phone buzzes when you log in, or maybe you tap your fingerprint. But in this session, let's slow it down and unpack MFA step by step, especially in the context of Microsoft Entra ID. What is MFA? Multi-factor authentication is a security mechanism that requires you to present two or more types of verification before you can access your account, system, or app. In simpler words, just knowing the password isn't enough anymore. You need a second key, like a phone or fingerprint, to prove it's really you. When you enable multi-factor authentication in Microsoft Entra ID, you're adding an essential layer of protection to your identity. To sign in, you'll need to verify who you are using at least 2 out of 3 types of factors, and each one plays a unique role in keeping you secure. First, there's something you know. This is your password or PIN, a secret you remember and type in. It's familiar, but on its own, it's not enough in today's threat landscape. Next, you need something you have. This could be your smartphone with the Microsoft Authenticator app, a text message code, or a physical security key like a FIDO2 device. It proves that you possess a trusted item linked to your identity. Lastly, there's something you are. These are your biometric traits, like your fingerprint or your facial scan. This factor is uniquely you, and it's nearly impossible for someone else to replicate. Together, these factors create a powerful shield. Even if someone steals your password, they still can't access your account without the second verification step. That's the power of MFA. It dramatically reduces your risk and puts control back in your hands. Let's walk through how multi-factor authentication works when you're using Microsoft Entra ID. First, you start by entering your username and password. This is the initial step and represents something you know. It's your basic credential, but on its own, it's no longer considered secure enough in today's environment. If MFA is enabled, Microsoft Entra ID immediately steps in with a second layer of protection. You'll be asked to verify your identity using another method, maybe a prompt from the Microsoft Authenticator app, a text message or voice call to your phone, a FIDO2 security key, or even a biometric scan like facial recognition or fingerprint. This second step is critical for confirming that it's really you. Once you successfully complete this verification, you're granted access to the application or service you're trying to use. It feels seamless on your end, but it's doing a lot of heavy lifting in the background. Behind the scenes, Microsoft Entra ID orchestrates this process using its built-in identity protection services. It evaluates the context of your login, checks for risk signals, and ensures that MFA is only triggered when necessary, all while keeping your experience smooth and your identity secure. Let's look at how multi-factor authentication is licensed and set up in Microsoft Entra ID so you can plan your implementation effectively. If you're just starting out, basic MFA is available to you right away. Every Microsoft Entra ID tenant includes what's called security defaults. With these enabled, MFA is automatically enforced for all users. No extra configuration or licensing required. It's a simple, no-cost way to get your users protected, especially if you're running a small to mid-size organization. Now, if you need more flexibility and control, you'll want to look at Advanced MFA, which requires a Microsoft 365 license with Entra ID P1 or P2. For example, Microsoft 365 Business Premium and Microsoft 365 E3 come with Entra ID P1, while Microsoft 365 E5 includes Entra ID P2. These plans open up advanced security features beyond just basic MFA prompts. When you have Entra ID P1, you get access to Conditional Access. This means you can decide exactly when and where MFA should kick in, like prompting users only if they sign in from outside your country or on a new device. You're in control of how security fits your business context. With Entra ID P2, you go even further. You get risk-based conditional access, where Entra ID uses machine learning to evaluate sign-in behavior. If something looks risky, MFA is enforced automatically. If not, your users might not be prompted at all. It's smart, adaptive security that protects your environment without getting in your users' way. By choosing the right MFA setup, you're giving your organization a powerful, customizable security foundation, one that balances safety and user experience. Let's talk about why multi-factor authentication is absolutely essential for your security. First, if you're using MFA, you're blocking nearly 99.9% of account compromise attacks. That means most attempts to break into your account, even with a stolen password, are stopped in their tracks. It's one of the most effective shields you can put in place. Second, MFA can reduce the damage caused by phishing by up to 98%. Even if you accidentally click on a malicious link or enter your password on a fake login page, the attacker still can't get in without that second factor, and that could be what saves your organization. Research also shows that around 93% of breaches could have been prevented if MFA had been enabled. That's not just a statistic, that's a wake-up call. Most attacks succeed simply because the second layer of protection isn't there. Here's the truth. Passwords alone are weak. They get phished, guessed, reused, and exposed in data breaches every day. When you add MFA, you're not just adding a feature, you're closing the door on most attackers. You're making their job significantly harder and your environment significantly safer. So, what's your key takeaway? If you're not using MFA, you're one click away from compromise. Microsoft Entra ID gives you the tools, from free security defaults to advanced conditional access. It's your job as a security leader, architect, or admin to turn them on and protect your users.